Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Destiny. I am Death Room of. Wanted to talk to you about something today that I was thinking about yesterday, and I wrote some ideas down. And it's about Transmog in Destiny, and I know this is something that's been talked about for a long time, and it's not something I have any insight into changing, or do I know anything, but it's just a thought I had to maybe kind of just take the whole Infusion system that we have and kind of turn it a little bit and make it turn into an Infusion / Transmog system in Destiny. They're just my ideas, but I really want to know what you guys think and if you would like this, and if you've thought about this before, if there's other games that you play that have these types of systems. Give me your feedback, let me know your comments, let me know your thoughts. But what I thought about is, and it mainly applies to armor, but it would work with weapons too, is adding a layer to the infusion system where instead of just infusing the light into an item, you are infusing the visual appearance of an item into another item, or vice versa, infusing the stats and abilities of one item into the visual appearance of another item. So kind of in practice, what this would mean in game is, say you get some gauntlets from the raid, and they're good gauntlets, but they don't have the stats or the talents that you want on them, but you like the way they look. You're like, oh, that looks awesome. I want an option to take those gauntlets, rip off the stats, and apply new stats to them. So, say you had these Iron Banner gauntlets, you're like, oh, those gauntlets have the best stats. I just don't like the way it looks. So you would somehow rip the visuals off of that and put the visuals from your raid gauntlets onto the stats of your Iron Banner gauntlets. I don't know how exactly this would work. I'm a YouTuber, I'm not a programmer, so I don't know. I'm telling you the idea, you fix it. But so another thing I was thinking about, what if you want to be dead orbit all the time? So speaking to Deej himself, what if you want to be dead orbit all the time, but you still want to have those boots that have the raid perks, or those boots that have the trials perks, or those boots that have the Iron Banner perks, but you want to be dead orbit for life? How do you go about that? So I'm thinking each item has a shell. So when you deconstruct something, it'll give you the materials, and it'll give you, say you just deconstruct some dead orbit gauntlets, it'll give you dead orbit gauntlet shell. So whatever dead orbit gauntlets happen to be named, you'll get that shell, so it's just the appearance of that item. And it would be a one-to-one thing. So you got some gauntlets, you didn't like the stats, you got other gauntlets, you do like the stats, you can deconstruct those that you don't like, get the shell, and take that shell and apply it to the other gauntlets. Say there's just another node like an infusion node that is a visual node, something like what did I think about it? I called it something, armor shell node, or appearance infusion, something like that. Aesthetic appearance application, something that lets you apply that appearance to your gear. So it wouldn't be like you have a shader and you can always have 1,000 of them. It would be, you got one set of gauntlets, you want the shell from those gauntlets to apply to the next gauntlet. You can't take that shell and have and have it 100 times over because you have the shell now, so it's in your list of shells. No, it would be, you have this piece of armor, you want to apply these stats to that piece of armor. Let's just go big. Instead of just doing the light level, let's do everything. Let's do everything over to that new shell, or just apply the shell to that other piece of armor. Maybe it's like the chroma, where you just put it on there, and if you want to delete it, you can delete it, but you lose the shell. So you lose that piece of chroma you stuck on there. Something like that. It's something that I think would be very easy to do, but it might be difficult because of how the game currently works. So maybe in Destiny 2, I don't know. But how cool would it be? Think back to like Vault of Glass. That raid armor, I think, is the coolest looking raid armor they've had so far, notwithstanding the Rise of Iron that looks pretty good. But I want to be able to go back to the Vault of Glass, get my Titan helmet, little, unicorn single-eyed helmet. Take that helmet, maybe I can't take the stats with me, it's still 170 defense or 130 or whatever it drops at 140. Take that, rip the shell off of it, and apply that shell to my Trials helmet, my current Trials helmet, and have a 335 Vault of Glass helmet. It's going to have all those Trials talents and perks and stats, but it's going to look like Vault of Glass gear. How cool would that be? Then you could honestly be as unique as you want to be, because right now all my gear is just a hodgepodge of whatever has the best stats. whatever has the best talents. I don't have a look that I'm going for. I just have gear that looks certain ways that does certain things. So I wanted to have more control over the visual appearance of my character while still having control over the stats. And I think this is an excellent way to do it. Obviously, this will not work on exotics. I say it could work with weapons too, because why not? As long as it sticks to the same archetype. You can't apply the shotgun shell to a scout rifle, but you can apply one scout rifle shell to those scout rifles stats. Why not? You still have to find both of them, and you still have to have 1-to-1 ratios. So you can't have one gun turn into 10 shells. And, you deconstruct the weapon, it gives you that shell or that casing or the frame or whatever you want it to be called. Say it's an Iron Banner, scout frame. So you get Call of Advance's Duties frame, and then you can apply that to a Badger CCL stat, whatever. So that would be interesting. I really like the idea. I don't know if it's a good idea, but I think I like it. And I'm thinking about it this way, because at this point in Destiny, I want my dude to look exactly the way I want him to look. I would love for him to just be straight up Iron Banner looking all the time, or Dead Orbit looking all the time. That way I could get, every time I get a faction package that gives me a piece of armor that I don't care about, when I deconstruct it, I get that armor shell, and I'm like, ooh, okay, I can use that armor shell on something else. And I could have, 4 or 5 gauntlets that all look the same, that have all completely different stats, maybe even derived from different activities. So I think it'd be really cool. Might be a development nightmare, but I'm not concerned with that. I just think it'd be a cool idea. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. I'm interested to hear your thoughts, but I'm Death from Above. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed this. Subscribe if you want to see more. And until next time, I will see you later. See you, bye.